Hey everybody, it's Jason with Parallel Reality coming back with you here today with an article from September 23rd from PJ Media. It's entitled The Destruction of the United States is Intentional. Here's what will happen next. And I see these kind of fear-mongering articles all the time in right-leaning media, and kind of over time I've been like, I don't know, but now I'm like, yeah, I kind of think this is intentional. And so I read this article already and I was like, yeah, I kind of agree with a lot of the stuff that's happening in here. So overall, I'm going to say, well, what do you guys think? But let's go through the article and see what it says. It says for just over 2.5 years, Joe Biden and or his puppet masters, this is see Barack Obama, Susan Price, Klaus Schwab, etc., have been successfully driving the United States to destruction. The plan took a 4-year detour when President Trump was at the helm. Now, thanks to what many believe was a stolen election, the plan to enslave our comfy pants clad bottoms is back on. Since the commies began the operation decades ago, as Soviet defector Yuri Bezmenov warned, the college professors and civil rights leaders indoctrinated, or as Bezmenev calls it, demoralized, generations of Americans and convinced them to hate their nation and frequently themselves. Does this sound familiar already? If not, it's going to get a lot more familiar. So the Soviets successfully infiltrated the black communities, convinced them that they were less than, and let the anger seethe into subsequent generations. Yep. That is why we see highly educated and successful black folks like the Obamas, MSNBC's Joy Reid, and the deranged Cori Bush screaming about racism, even though they are one percenters. Very true. I mean, yeah, and then this next sentence was something I was just about to say before I read it. That if systemic racism were real, how did these poor indentured serfs get so far? So obviously racism isn't really a thing. So it says Factorama. Bezmenov, a KGB defector, described the Soviets' four-part plan to conquer the United States without firing a shot. Step one was demoralization. Demoralize Americans to the point that they refused to believe their eyes, like how your rabid pink-haired sister-in-law refused to believe we were being inundated with illegal immigrant caravans when Trump was in office because NBC headlines told her it was all just a right-wing conspiracy, and obviously we know that is not at all. Just 2.5 years later, our major blue cities are getting crushed. She was lied to, but she still watches NBC and thinks it's real. As Bezmenov, described, she can't tell what is real and what is not. It says watching Bezmenov lay out the communist plan to take over the United States and understanding how close the plan is to being successful may be the most important 7 minutes of your life. Please watch and share this with everyone who doesn't want to start their day with a cricket smoothie. So I'm not going to play the video because again, it's as they said, it's 7 minutes long, but as the article says right below it, it says he laid out a Soviet plan in 4 parts, and this will be a lot faster than 7.5 minutes or whatever it is. It says number one is demoralize people until they can't tell fact from fiction. Seems like that's already going on. Destabilize the target nation's economy. That's going on. Defense systems. Yeah. And foreign relations. That too. And then it says Bidenomics is a joke. The military is woke and suffering from a lack of volunteers. And our foreign relations are about to start World War III. That says three is crisis. Is foment a major event that causes our system to implode, such as 7 million immigrants crashing our welfare system and economy, or a sudden lack of gas or energy, as we've seen in Sri Lanka and Nigeria. And go look up what happened in those two places, especially Sri Lanka. That's if you want to know what socialism in the modern day is going to get you, that's where you probably need to look is Sri Lanka and say, yeah, that. Because that's a huge problem. Then four is normalization. It says the government implements socialism to make it all better, which of course is if anybody knows anything about socialism, it never works, so it will not make anything better. It's going to make things far, far worse. So then there's the cloud pivot strategy, which until I read this article yesterday, because I'm recording this on the 24th of September, I had never even heard of this. Excuse me, it said Cloward and Pivot were nutjob professors, as most are, I would think, at Columbia University. So it says, remember, Bezmenov mentioned professors as part of the Soviet plan to topple America, who came up with a scheme to bring socialism to the United States and a sense of fairness to the impecunious Caucasian debris. And it scratched out white trash there, so we put Caucasian debris, who celebrate Christmas by smearing cheese whiz on celery and believe Little Debbie is a food group. That's pretty funny. And then, of course, got a monster car picture there, or like a dirt rally. I don't know what that is. It said this four-part skullduggery somewhat mirrors what Bezmenov warned us about, and its steps are, excuse me, not cutting that out. It said overload the welfare system. So the illegal immigrants are doing that as you read this, cause panic and chaos, and it's got hyperlinks. Let's see the panic part. It says protesters block a bus carrying migrants on Staten Island. And for chaos, it says chaos erupts as protesters heckle AOC amid escalating migrant crisis. Okay. Then it says watch the system get destroyed with a link that says, yeah, it's basically about Eric Adams talking about it. And then replace it with socialism, which again is not a good idea. That says Pinkorama. If you want to know which news outlets are run by fork tongued commies, look for the ones that refute the damage being purposely wrought upon us by the crush of illegal immigrants coming over the borders. Yep, it's a good way to do it. Says according to the plan Bezmenov laid out, we are easily halfway through part two of the evil commie scheme to destroy America, and next step we will have a major crisis. It could be something as calamitous as World War III, a major power outage, a recession, which it seems like we're on the horizon for that anyway, or something the CIA has cooked up that may not even be real, like an invasion of green, like there's out little and then has huge next to it. So green men in Las Vegas, whatever it is, it will be intentional. And then it says Miss Cleo Rama says, as I read this, there's an alien fire near Las Vegas. I should be a psychic. There's an alien fire near Vegas? Alien fire outside of Las Vegas. Wow, okay. Didn't know about that. It says looking at the Cloward Piven playbook, we are well into part three. Once the nation's financial system is gutted, Biden will likely announce a plan to usher in socialism so that we don't have to resort to eating our house pets. Any way you slice it, something devastating and intentional is on the not so distant horizon according to both of those strategies. And you're kind of seeing that in Chicago already. And remember, I've said in a million videos that I'm in the northwest suburbs of Chicago. So I do hear a lot about what's happening in Chicago. And the mayor there wants to open government owned grocery stores because all the grocery stores are leaving because they're getting all their crap stolen. So they don't want to be there. And of course, what are government owned grocery stores? They're it's communist stuff. So yeah. So article continues says, in my estimation, the fastest way to a crisis is to stop the production and distribution of food. That's correct. Says most people have at best 7 days worth of chow in their pantries and refrigerators. That is if they just got home from Kroger minutes before reading this. And I was thinking about that sentence after I read this article quite a bit, and I was like, do I even have 7 days worth? I'm like, I probably do if I stretched it out, but I'm like, man, that's stretching out. So maybe a week. So it says, in reality, we're about 3 days away from buckshotting our marauding neighbors as they try to slit our throats for our last can of Dinty Moore beef stew. And it says, I don't know what kind of calamity our disaster masters are planning, but my inner Miss Cleo, who is batting 100% today, tells me it will occur before Election Day 2024. Yeah, I think something's going to happen before then, too. Beware of psyops, folks. Says, but we can win this commie onslaught. We have to push the fight even harder, more so now than ever before. Take a minute of your time to fight for America. The Pinkos want to silence patriots like you, and then it's of course it's an ad for them right now. So yeah, so what do you guys think about this? I mean, again, listen to this right here to the Yuri Bezmenov thing, a Soviet defector, as we said, or KGB defector, even better. And then about what he said, and man, it really kind of fits in with what's happening right now. So, what do you guys think about it? Let me know in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.